Hello everybody and welcome! I am here with Beard to continue our Investigator Design series, and we are on the Seeker Investigator, and the only thing that Beard and I know right now is that we want this character to be a playwright. So that's the information we're starting with, and that is what we have. Before I say my idea, Beard, I'm curious what are some of your initial thoughts here for the playwright character?
I just had one as I was mulling things over about play styles that haven't really been worked on for Seeker. And they have Big Hand as an archetype.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it'd be interesting to have a character where you want to build up a huge hand and then play it all in one turn.
Okay, yeah.
Not sure if that matches the playwright as well, but it's something to think about.
No, I like it. Mine was a little bit more top down for my idea. I was trying to think of what a playwright does, and it was making me think of scene directions, right? So I had an idea that was kind of just initial thought, which was, what if this guy had a start of scene and an end of scene kind of thing. So my thought was at the start of your turn, as a reaction, you can discard a card from your hand and either move or gain a resource, and then at the end of your turn do the one you did not do, right? That was kind of my starting work of what if there was something to do with he played with the round structure in a way that a playwright can play with scene structure and stuff like that. That was kind of where I was brewing on this guy, but a bit more top down than bottom up. But I like your idea too for the kind of bottom up approach.
Well, which subclasses did we decide on for?
That's a great question.
That might be a good thing to check,
because that can help determine a lot. All right, pinned messages. The Seeker is Rogue and Mystic.
All right.
Okay. So I'm gonna put that on the back of the card, because then we can just check that there. Rogue Mystic. All right, give me the back face.
It does kind of suggest event gameplay, but I'm not sure.
Rogue. Here, I'm going to just put this whole thing in here right now, because this doesn't change. This is the easy part. There we go. Okay. All right, so Rogue Mystic, yeah, it does suggest more event-based gameplay, for sure. Well, let's go to my new favorite website, Arkham Build, and look at some level 0 cards in Rogue and Mystic. Yeah, this one's it's very interesting to have this be different than the other guys, because we had we had plans for them, and this one is just we gotta actually just start with very little, which I think is interesting compared to the others.
It definitely does make you think in a different pattern.
So part of me also, because this guy is Rogue, I would like to avoid another another Lucius, right? Where it has high foot. That is something that I was thinking of last night too. I would rather this guy not just be another high foot Seeker Investigator that can play rogue cards.
That's entirely fair. I mean, we can honestly give them very low foot, because there isn't an investigator that kind of has the Leo niche of low foot rogue splash.
Yeah. Also, I definitely have Tennessee Williams in my head for this, for the picturing the playwright. That might be just because that's the playwright I think of first, mostly due to my drama classes in high school. But like I'm picturing like a older guy with a handlebar mustache type thing.
I did send you at least, yeah, like the third picture in that set of 9. That's
Yeah,
kind of what I think you were going for.
yeah, I think so. It's very interesting. All right. I was just trying to look at the assets. There's not that much cross between like the mystic and rogue, but I guess with these level 0 with these investigators in our cycle, the idea is that they benefit they benefit from their level 0s, but they're not building around their level 0s. So it's like about finding that synergy that can exist within the level 0s between them. Does the deck building have to mirror the other investigators you guys made? Yes, we're just doing that because we're doing a cycle just to keep it nice and simple. Also, like, easier to, like, advertise, you know? So it kind of all fits with that. What was our bartender's? He was Mystic and Guardian?
Yeah.
That would have been a good ability for Mystic Seeker on the rogue, because I'm like, this guy should just have that ability. We should just do Maxwell Pike again. It's very because Seeker does that a lot too. Funny how that works.
Well, too late. This time the Seeker's going to have to come up with something new.
Exactly. Okay. I have a slight strange idea.
Go for it.
Okay. I'm going back to the scene direction thing, right? And maybe this guy changes from like the playwright to like no, I think the playwright could still work. But like, what if this guy's like ability was really weird, where all right, I'm gonna write it because I think it's easier to write, and we can just go from this. And I don't know if this is an actual ability, or if this is just something that if you can actually do anything. All right, you cannot take actions during your turn. During once again, I'm kind of like play with the structure. Turns, you may take actions as if it was your turn. So that's fucked up, right? But I'm trying to, once again, the thing of like controlling the, like, because Gloria Goldberg as the writer has that theme where it's like she's controlling the mythos, right? Because she's writing the mythos. So like, to me, like the writers kind of stuff have the idea that they are controlling things. So that's kind of like my inspiration for this as well. Like, I want to like do something with like structure. I feel like that's very interesting to me for the playwright.
Let's see. All right, I thought of something else that's going to be really messy and confusing.
Okay.
Just at the start of the investigation phase, pool everybody's actions, and you get to like dole them out.
Okay.
Everybody only gets like everyone has to take a minimum of 3,
Yeah.
but that would completely mess with anything that's like at the start of your turn or the end of your turn, but just
Okay.
complete turn anarchy.
Yeah. I like this line of thinking. I think we're both on to like the start of something here. I wish there. So I think they think, yeah, like divvying out the actions. I feel like the action structure is already so messy in how it works for this game that a lot of people don't know, that I think there should be something. Does that eat Carson's lunch a bit? No, it eats the entire thing.
So I'm not saying like you can redistribute who's getting how many actions. You're just completely changing the order everyone takes it in. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just everyone's turn all at once. That's crazy. Oh, that's a better way to it would have to be like investigation phase only for that astute to like take an action as if it was your turn. Okay, I like this. This is interesting. This just kind of like playing with the action structure thing. Pool everybody's actions together. You choose the order in which players take. What if if it is an investigate phase only? I don't want people emailing us asking questions, so I want to keep it as simple as possible, baby. Because yes, it could be a learning experience for people to know when actions are given out. Do something for True Solo again? I'm sorry, I got bad news for the people who play True Solo. I do not think you exist. I do not think you are real. I got bad news. Okay, let's just put yours like so. Let's put yours into words too, and we can kind of look at that on the card as well.
I'll just type something up and send it to you. That might be the easiest way.
Yeah, sounds great. Because Astute had like this, right, where it was like. Action during the investigation phase. Yeah, that I like that. I like that structure for an Astute. I think that is definitely cleaner. As if makes me want to puke sometimes. No, don't think about it. That's my philosophy. It makes sense if you want it to make sense, and then you just, if anyone tries to tell you otherwise, they are Satan trying to tempt you to the dark side. And while Satan's sick as hell, we're not fucking with Satan here. Especially because also, like, apparently the taken action as if it were your turn is actually not as if it was your turn. That's a little bit fricked up. That's a little bit fricked up. So this was the other one. I'm going to just put this in the comments. I'll put, while Beard's writing his zany idea, I'll put this one here as well. Turn.
Hold on.
Oh, do X. X, like, it's just like cost. Either move or it's cost. Do the the opposite, yeah. I don't know, I like this kind of more zanier structure more. Okay, let's see what Beard put in.
No, I accidentally sent it early.
Okay, alright. What you do is play this guy with Carson on the team, and who the hell knows what reality is anymore? Amen. So what side's the Mystic and Rogue would you like this character to use?
Bricked up.
Alright. That's a great question. So what side of Mystics and Rogue would you like this character to utilize? Like how Dexter and Leo didn't do well with Rogue tricks, but like all the money? Yeah, no, that's a great question. Don't know the answer to that yet. Alright. Alright. During your turn, choose an investigator to spend an action. That investigator takes an immediate action for their turn. If this is the first action spent by that investigator, this phase is considered to be the start of that investigator's turn. If resolving this action, if that investigator has no actions remain, is considered to be the end of their turn.
I think that covers a good amount of things.
It is. I like both of these. These are both zany. But now I guess the question is, how do we simplify these kind of like zany ideas?
Yeah, the only, or not the only, but the main problem I see with my idea is it can turn somebody into sort of the armchair general in the way that Gloria is.
Yes, I agree. And like also the thing I'm thinking too with my issue is just that it would be like a nightmare to play with, you know? And like how often does it end up just being like, oh, I'm going to take 3 actions now. I'm just going to do my turn in the middle of your turn, right? And like, is that play loop actually good, right?
I'd say so, because you have, like, I can think of tons of times I've been playing, it's like, if only the Guardian could engage this guy, and then I could take my turn, and then he could finish him off because I need the guy around for early stuff.
That is true. That is true. I guess, yeah, the parlay, there's parlay in Mystic and Rogue, right? Level 0.
Yeah.
That's a great, let's look at that. Give me the old ArkhamDB view. And let's look up game text. Let's look up parlay.
Also, just didn't include the top part where you have to take your turn.
Oh, I missed that too.
Yeah.
I'll put that. We can see what that looks like. All right. No, I can leave this open.
This might get into the area where we need a second card that's a permanent, but we'll see.
Yeah, it looks pretty. That text is looking pretty tiny. Mystic, your first turn.
Yeah, and the Elder Sign is missing, so...
Yeah.
Like, I could see just that first part being on there, and then the free action being on a separate card, but then you get into a whole bunch of stuff like what happens when you're a Yeti and what happens when the stubborn detective blanks your card.
And I'm also like, for my design sensibilities, I don't like when I like all the things being on the investigator card. I'm not a big fan of like the second card to explain stuff. I think the issue, like, I love this idea. I think the issue, and I'm sure you're thinking it too, is just the rules baggage that has to come with it, right? Of like the start of the investigator's turn, you know, like all that kind of stuff to have to clarify all that.
This isn't just rules baggage. This is like a rules coffin that we're throwing in the sea.
Amen. Amen. Lucas, 17 months at the Golden Table. Thank you for your support. Okay, I'm going to just copy this and put this in the comments, because then we can have it over here.
Yeah, just put a pin in that. Let's move on and see if we can find something cleaner.
Yeah. Okay. Let's think of other ways that we can play around with like maybe not necessarily action structure or like, but like have this guy like structure for like the game, you know? or like what does a playwright do to you? Like, because also like to me, both of these ideas of the playwright of that we both have feels more like a director in a way. But maybe that's just because I haven't like I've worked in theater, so I have like a more focused thing, and that might just be my own bias come into that. But
I mean, I get it. I have a degree in theater, so.
yeah, like it's one of those things, right? Where like the playwright, like to me, like someone like telling people what to do and what order, or like just butting in, to me seems more like a director. So what is a playwright? So that's why I really liked your idea of like spending like all your hand, like as many of your hand at once, right? Like building up a big hand, because to me that feels very like you're setting a scene and like doing all that, right?
Yeah, to me, it was like the creative process where you build up a whole ideas and then just get it all out of your head at once.
Yeah, for sure.
So we can still do something with like start of turn and end of turn, but
Yeah.
let me go over some ideas.
Additionally, as well, like, what if instead of the idea of the big hand size and spending everything, what if it's like a
Oops.
empirical? Because empirical hypothesis has that no hand size. What if this idea is less about amassing like a giant 8-card hand and spending it? But what if this guy's about amassing like a 5-card hand and spending it? So like his hand size is smaller, but like he's like going down and then up and then down and then up, right?
Let me see here.
I'm also agreeing with what Chad said earlier. With these 2 original versions we had of this guy, it'd be crazy. Those signatures were going to be crazy.
Absolutely.
What are rogue and mystic skills like at level 0? Maybe this could be a skill-based investigator.
I keep pressing enter by mistake.
What about something to do with manipulating allies, like a playwright manipulating characters? That is very interesting, Elros. I think that's an interesting idea. Let me look at the secret ones too. It would be nice to have someone to play hit and run as well.
True. All right. I think I might be getting a different idea in mind that kind of plays with it.
Okay.
I don't really have any formed ideas, but something with like at the end of your turn, you get a benefit for how many exhausted assets you control, and allies are included in that.
Okay.
Not exactly playwright, but that might be an idea to pocket.
Yeah. Okay. I like this ally thing. Okay. I think we need to do... this might be a very powerful investigator if we put it into practice too, but the thing I'm thinking as well is the idea of allies being characters in the play. And what do characters do in a play? They enter and exit the scene. So I'm feeling like, what if this guy has some sort of... like, there's a lot of synergy in Seeker for this kind of thing. But I think there's... I mean, there isn't Mystic, but there's not as much in Rogue. But I'm looking at, like, investigators that you want to either, like, enter or leave play. The problem is, like, it eats the Seeker thing, but, like, because I'm looking at Arcane Initiate and, like, David... like, having them to be able to leave play, but then also, like, come back in the future can be really good. So, like, I'm thinking, like, my vibe is, like, a hot swap of allies in some way. Again, seems very good with, like, art student and laboratory assistant, but if you're going to do allies and Seeker with any sort of synergy, those are going to be good no matter what. And Jeremiah Kirby. Yeah, seems pretty sick.
How about this? Sending.
Okay, I like this as a starting point. This is actually very similar to something I was just thinking. Let's go to... give me Strange Aeons, please. Alright, you have one additional ally slot, which can only be used to hold a non-unique asset. When your turn ends, choose an ally as you control, shuffle it into your deck. Control shuffle in your deck, then draw a card. Okay. I like this. The thing that I'm feeling is instead of draw a card, it's like Leah, like then play an ally asset.
But would you want that to be when your turn ends or when your turn begins?
I like it when your turn ends. I like your timing for that. Asset.
Do you want any cost reduction for that or no?
That's a great question too.
Because Leo gets the extra action to play an ally and gets the cost reduction. I think paying full cost is fine because you have the extra slot.
Yes, that's if there's no slot, I think you get a reduction. But this is close. I think this is a good line. I think this is a good line.
It's at least on flavor.
Yeah. They'll be back later in the play. You have one additional ally slot you can only use to hold a non-unique asset, which is really nice because then you can have like a Jeremiah Kirby or like a Dr. Milan. So I think this guy also, my opinion is this guy should have 3 book. I just feel it in my bones.
I think that's fine.
I think his ability is very good. And I think that you'll rewarded to not just do the traditional book v shroud with this guy if you have 3 book.
Do we want him to be like a 4-3-2-3 then, or?
I like maybe 4-3-3-2.
Well, that's what we gave Max.
Frick!
We could stick with the dreaded all threes.
No, I though that makes me, that gives me the ick. I go, ugh. You have 1 additional ally slot, which can. So I just still feel like something's a little bit missing, and I'm just trying to like look at that, you know, because like the paying its cost.
Oh, we also need an elder sign for him.
Yes, yeah. So I'm looking at like, so here's the thing that I'm looking at, right? Like I see the Seeker's obviously, the synergy's there. Seeker has strong allies that you want to interplay. The Rogue is giving you money to play for your allies. And Mystic has allies that you want to leave play. So there's some synergies between all of those, right?
Yeah.
Rogue has hired muscle and treasure seeker. Unfortunately, this guy cannot. He can only play level 0 Rogue. I still feel like some little like juice is missing to make me go like, aha, you know, like this character. Ah, that's why I want to play this guy.
Well, that could go into the signature as well, because I know some investigators are night and day with their signature.
It's true. So I feel like his signature should be an ally, and there was one of the art in your pool that I think also made me think that could be good. The girl in the white holding the book.
Yeah, I mean, I was really drawn to that one at first.
So like I feel like this, like no matter what, this guy will have an ally for a signature. It just makes sense to me, you know?
True. Because if we make her unique, then she doesn't fully interact with his ability.
Yeah. But if she does have like a leave play, it could work that way, right?
Yeah. Because, I mean, he still has the normal ally slot. It's not like you only have to do the...
Yes, yeah. Should be used to hold a non-unique asset. When your turn ends, choose an ally asset you control, shuffle it into your deck. Then play an ally asset from your hand, paying its cost. Oh yeah, it could be star of the show, a non-unique ally. Yep.
Well, she doesn't really look like an actor per se.
No, she definitely looks more like a assistant or a playwright of her own, you know? Aspiring playwright. You're gonna go do this for me. You go.
Oh boy.
You do the hard work. I don't know what's... So the thing that's missing for me is I think that just the value isn't super there. Like, I like the playing an asset from your hand, but, like... I'm just missing a little something, you know? But like you said, this might be able to be on the signature. But then, like, how much do you need to find the signature for things to actually work for this guy? Because that's kind of like my issue with those investigators, that their signature, like, really makes them shine, you know? And then you just, like, don't draw it.
Well, Seeker has the least worries about drawing.
That is true. That is true. I kind of like what Astute is saying. What could we up the power level by making the ability forced?
Yeah, we probably could. But that would run into economy issues.
Yeah, but then we can like we can like make economy part of it. You know, like it could be, we could maybe do something with that. Interesting. Let me look at this ally list again in a second. Let me just do some perusing. Don't mind me. Arcane Initiate, Art Student. The Sophist, the Spirit. Laboratory Assistant. Medical Student. Research Librarian.
What if instead of at the end of your turn, it's after you activate an ability on them?
Okay, after you trigger like a action, reaction, or lightning bolt ability?
Yeah. So you'd kind of get to double dip with allies during the turn.
Yeah.
Especially if they're ones that either only do one thing or exhaust. Because then you basically don't have to worry about the exhaust cost.
Interesting. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna copy this into here just so we can like work. All right. So when your turn ends, or yeah, it's like when you resolve.
It'll be after.
Yeah, after. Thank you. After you resolve, and by the way, I'm gonna make this forced.
That definitely does make you want to invest in allies that aren't like, I want this guy here for the rest of my the round, or the rest of the game, basically.
Resolve that ability. Allies
well, if it is forced, maybe the additional ally slot doesn't need to be non-unique assets, because a lot of unique assets are cards that you want in play for the whole game, so this sort of leads you towards others anyway.
That's true. It could just be like, you have one additional ally slot.
Yep.
Have to resolve an action, reaction, or lightning bolt ability on an ally. Why is this like this? You may resolve that ability again. If you do, shuffle that ally into your deck and draw a card.
Well, that wouldn't be forced then.
But yeah, I guess that's true. It could be one of those things. My thought is that like you have the one. Yeah, I guess it would be a reaction because you can do resolve that ability again.
I didn't mean double dipping like literally. I meant like I guess you wouldn't even need the additional ally slot in that place.
Yeah, they just like go. They come in and go away.
Yeah.
So like you're turning your allies into events if they have one of those abilities.
Yeah.
What if it wasn't you have one additional ally slot, but it was like ally cards have their cost reduced by 1. Or something like that. Uh-oh! Put the little slash in there.
It would have to be your ally cards,
yes.
Otherwise you're giving...
No, let's give it to everybody. He can do it to everybody. Oh, sorry, you're in the wrong view right now. There we go. So then it's just shuffle.
That does make me think, like, what if it was, like, for cards at your location? So you could do it for the team if they wanted.
Oh, for like the forced ability?
Yeah.
They're all just figures in my play.
Yeah,
That,
it's something to think about.
yeah. Again, shuffle that ally into your deck and draw a card. Your ally assets. And this should be assets. I know how to spell. You missed an and in the text there. After you resolve an action reaction on yes, on an ally. Thank you. Resolve that ability again. Shuffle that ally into your deck and draw a card. I mean, seems incredible with laboratory assistants, right? It's pay 1, draw 4. It seems pretty good.
Or art student becomes a 2-clue burst.
Yep. I mean, even like a David Renfield is just like 1 gain 3. This is all very interesting. Also, the Dr. Milan killer, right?
Yeah, because Dr. Milan would actually not even break even.
Yes, yeah. And like, yeah, like what Dice Gods is saying, the max Jeremiah Kirby would be so critical for this guy, but like you also can't then use Jeremiah Kirby to get... Like, this guy doesn't play ally soak. It's very interesting.
Or, I mean, I guess they could.
Yeah.
You can play Leo DeLuca for 5.
Yep. I mean, you could also play things like Maelson for just the soak as well, and then when he's gone, or you could use him to play like Calling in Favors to then like trigger an art student for 2 for free, shuffle into your deck and draw a card. That actually does seem like a pretty interesting play pattern.
Yeah, I think this is shaping up nicely.
I also think now this guy doesn't need to have 3 book because he can't play book allies, really.
That's fair.
Oh man, Henry Wan. Resolve Henry Wan's ability twice. Let's go.
He is an aspiring actor. Does he finally have a home?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I think this is interesting. It's powerful, and it's basically turning your allies into events, which I think is very interesting. You can play Kirby or Milan and just not activate them, right? Yeah, that's a very... Yeah, you could. And it's a very expensive way to just get +1 book, right?
Yeah.
I like it, because, like, you could, but I think that if you do play just Kirby or Milan and don't activate them, there's, like, much better things you could be doing. This is interesting. Not as wild as our other ideas, but I think this is very...
Well, this is an interesting play pattern that doesn't require the whole group to play along.
Yep. Seems like guy's stats are going to suck. We haven't even made the stats yet. He's probably going to have 4 book. Then you just need a magnifying glass. Like, I think he has like 4 intellect, right?
Yep.
No, he doesn't have all 3s. No, we haven't done that yet. We also had to do his Elder Sign as well.
Yeah. And we also need to decide, we gave him Mystic Splash, but do we want to give him a decent will score?
I think so. I think we do. I mean, like, to me, 3 is pretty decent for Mystic.
Yeah, I'm just
what if it's like, yeah, what if it's like this? 3, 4, 2, 3? Because then he also can use, like, Rogue, Breaking, and Entering to good effect.
That works. Now the question of how fragile we want to make him. He's
a little bit crazy. Insert maniacal laugh here. Yeah. Yeah, that's the question for. Well, that he doesn't have any ally soak. Well, he does, but like in theory, I mean, but he also can heal really well with medical student, right?
Yeah.
Like very well with medical student.
Are you sure you should be prescribing morphine? Yeah, it's fine.
It'll never come back and bite me in the ass.
Don't worry, it's just laudanum.
I feel like I kind of am into an 8-6. I don't know why, it just feels right to me, but...
Yeah. I think that's fine.
Okay, Elder Sign effect.
Seems like it should be like 0, but then you get to play an ally.
Yeah, what if it's like he can bring a character back from the dead? You thought this character was dead?
Writing trick in the book.
Yeah. It's like, put an ally from your discard pile into your hand, right?
Yeah. That is a little survivory, but...
It is, yeah. He doesn't really discard allies, though? No, I know. But yeah, plot twist. That's kind of the thing, like, this flavor beat function.
What about, like, discard the top 3 cards of your deck and then choose an ally among them to play? I don't know.
Yeah. I guess it could just be like Leo's effect, right?
Just a search?
Yeah.
I mean, you're already getting the card draw from the forced effect. So I think the opportunity to actually play an ally would help.
Yeah. What if it's just like you may play an ally from your hand. Like if it's just like a free action.
Yeah.
Because I think his ability is very good, and I think having a limiter on the Elder Sign is probably for the best.
Seems reasonable.
Okay.
I think it's in Holy Helicopter, but a lot of the cards he wants to play are when you enter play, so that'll also trigger his forced effect a lot.
Yeah. Okay. We should name this guy. Yeah, traits, yeah. And then also name. Let me just download this picture because I think that's our guy. Oh, he is gonna be good. All right. There he is.
And just to have the full list of traits there for sake of ease.
Nice. All right. Oh, artist for sure.
I think Lucius had like Scholar and Dreamer.
Yeah. I kind of want to go like Socialite. I feel like he'd be a Socialite.
Socialite's good.
Artist and Socialite. I think that's nice.
A lot of playwrights, like back in the early 1900s, were kind of celebrities, and then just kind of died out with the movies, honestly.
Yes, yeah, 100%, yeah. Gonna do a hit and run with Jeremiah Kirby. Yeah, sounds really fun. I like it. That Jeremiah Kirby won't go back into your hand though. I'm pretty sure he'll leave. He'll go shuffle into your deck.
Yep.
I like it though because it's powerful, but an investigator's ability should be powerful. And these guys are essentially monocolor classes, so like having the ability to get the level 0 cards to actually do something, I think is really nice for them.
Yeah.
All right, what should we call this guy? Can we name him after a state, like Tennessee Williams? Is Tennessee a state or is that a city?
Tennessee's a state. So we're kind of going with like the Monterey Jack kind of style where it's like clearly somebody else.
Yes, yeah. Wait, yeah.
Let's see. Trying to think of states that don't sound like too hicky. Like you call somebody Alabama, then they're gonna be wearing a trucker cap, no question.
Yeah, Indiana Jones. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, I was like Nebraska Jones. Damn, Tennessee Williams and Indiana Jones took two good state names.
I'm not sure if any of the other states are really sparking joy. Like he doesn't look like an Ohio.
No. Oh, this is the famous playwright Alabama Washington. He's named after two states? Yes. We could do a city then, too. Like a city, I think, could work. I think that could also still get it across. Yeah, I guess if also for this ability, if you don't want the soak, like if you just want to, like, if you need the soak, you could just, like, play Laboratory Assistant and, like, just not use the reaction ability.
Seneca is the name of a lot of cities in New England.
Okay, I'm down for that. It's also, what's that called when it's a word jumble? An anagram of a scene.
Oh, man. Let me look up a big list of surnames. I've got a
Jeff Texas. Now you're cooking a stoop. It's world famous playwright Jeff Texas. Seneca is also a Roman philosopher. Perfect. And also, just so everyone knows, this isn't the guy's actual name. This is a name he gave himself. It's a pseudonym that he is also then wearing proudly, so not really a pseudonym. Super Styles, thank you for the follow. You know, I'm a Canadian because my first thought was, let's just call this guy Seneca Washington. I can't get the last name Washington out of my head.
How does that strike you?
Seneca Rhodes, yeah.
Because Rhode Island is a state, technically.
Yeah. Seneca Rhodes. I love it. I love it. He's a little bit of an elitist for sure.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he like, do you want to go out for a beer? And he'd say, no, I'm staying home and having a bottle of champagne.
Yes, yeah. Oh, Seneca. All right.
I see what you're doing there, Holy Helicopter.
Okay, let's do signatures. Yeah, I think it's pretty much going to be an asset. It's going to be an ally. I think it's got to be.
The lady in white there?
I think so. Oh, yeah, what's the artist for Seneca's art as well?
That's the one for Seneca's art.
Perfect. And I think we should keep our theme going of this guy's signature weakness should also be an ally.
And this is for the girl. Yeah, I do like an enemy weakness for him, just like his biggest critic, somebody he lampooned in a play and is just forever pissed off about it.
Yeah. We also, like, instead of like an enemy, we could go for an ally that like has a bad, like, it if it's in play there's a negative effect, but then like you can do an action ability, but it's bad, so you have to resolve it twice, right? That could be a way we could go too.
That almost makes me want to go back and redo the footballer's weakness just so they can all be assets.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What was his again?
His was just a one-time.
Oh, his was like the task. It's an asset, but it actually kind of is an asset because it's a treachery that is a task. But we could change it into an asset. We could, right?
Yeah, this is a cycle.
Yeah. That could be good. We could easily tweak this to be an asset.
Sure.
Just to fit all that. All right. Let me just get this art here. Portraits are you. Okay.
So if we're going with this lady, I think she should either be like a collaborator or maybe even just his muse.
Oh yeah. Every playwright as a muse, 100%. I think that's a great idea. Okay.
I know the artist is Hispanic, so we can make her Hispanic as well.
Nice. Yeah. Neutral level, none. This has ally for sure. That's easy.
Let's see. Patron, maybe, if we're making her a muse?
Yep, sounds great. Okay, let me also just get the weakness as well. Okay. All right, well, she should have, I'm sure we're all in agreement here, an action, a lightning bolt, or a reaction ability.
Well, let's think. What does his kit want the most?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's already going to be drawing allies.
I think realistically, he probably wants resources the most so he can actually then do mystic things and not just rely on rogue money. Like, Seeker does have good economy, right? But, like, Faustian Bargain is hard to beat.
Yeah.
So probably something related to economy.
Maybe she enters play with a bunch of resources on her.
Yeah.
And when she like either uses her ability or leaves play, she can move those resources either to your pool or to other assets you control.
I like that. I had a slightly stranger idea, except there is some mechanical dissonance where she kind of becomes an an event in a way. But my thought process was like, what if he's like, it's his muse, but like, he doesn't like, he's like selfish with her. So like my idea was like, what if she had a reaction when you draw her from your deck? And then like you reveal her from your hand and something happens. But the idea is that you use it to, his ability can then like shuffle it back into your deck. So like the idea is that whenever the muse shows up, he can use it to trigger this thing, and then like it goes back into his deck and his muse like keeps coming back to him, right? Was kind of my thought process.
That's pretty cool.
It would be like you draw, I'm just gonna put in muse for right now. Your deck. Reveal her from your hand. Gain 1 resource. Something like that. It could be a different effect, but then like the idea is that she can give you 2 resources, then she comes back and then she draws a card. That might be really powerful because it's like endless, right? But like we could make her also pretty good so that if you don't want to, like, you could play her as well. Like maybe there's a reason to actually play her. I don't know if this might be too powerful.
Hmm. Can I look at his ability again?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So, building on that, what if she's one that you can't play, and she does keep shuffling away, but when you draw your weakness, it, like, brings her into play,
Okay.
and, like, attaches to the weakness.
Ah, I kind of see. So kind of like what we're doing with the, kind of like the, our first investigator. Kind of like they're kind of like working together in some way. There's like some counterplay between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if it's like, okay, let's spitball. You cannot play.
You don't have to say you can't play her. You just give her.
Oh, yeah, no cost.
The
Yeah.
bar for the cost.
Yeah. Eh. Yeah. When you draw a weakness from your deck, put to play.
Well, I don't think that needs to be on her. That should be on the weakness, right?
I guess, yeah, but that's the question. Yeah, we should define what the weakness is too, because then I guess I'm just confused of like what she's gonna do to the weakness. Then I guess we could figure that out.
I don't know. Maybe we can just. Yeah, we can just throw that away for now because, like, we haven't figured her out. So
Yeah.
maybe
The
she
other
has
thing
like.
Oh, sorry, you go.
Maybe she has just like the 1 resource effect when you draw her, or she has a better effect if you play her.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You can give her a cost of like 1 or 2.
The other thing I'm thinking is like kind of just like looking at this, I feel like his ability, even though it kind of thing is like, I feel like the draw card might be too good on his forced ability.
True, especially if he's going to have other things like Lab Assistant that let him draw cards.
Yeah. Shuffle that ally into your deck. I mean, does gain 1 resource look? I mean, I know he has like that cost reduction on them.
I think if we're giving him that, then he doesn't need the ally asset cost reduction.
Yeah. And what if he is just like this? What if it's just that?
I think honestly that's fine.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay. You draw a full name from your deck. Reveal her from your hand.
I think you can just say reveal her.
Nice. You can see the difference when whenever I'm designing a game, I always like spell out like this is where you have to reveal her from. This is so it's like one of those things that it just comes to me. So thank you for reminding me I can be less verbose. For your deck, reveal her. Gain 1 resource. When enters play, draw 1 card and gain 1 resource. And like, yeah, a cost of 2. So she costs 1. Maybe 3, so she costs 2. So then you don't get like the... It's like, okay, so if you don't play her, you get 2 resources. If you do play her, she's free, but you draw 2 cards. I think that's pretty alright.
Well, action for draw 2 cards doesn't really sound like a great signature to me.
That is true. That is true. Do we just give him like another laboratory, like a slightly more expensive lab assistant? But the thing is, if she gains resources, she's free. So it could just be like another lab assistant. Draw 2 cards, then it becomes 4 for 2.
I think draw 4 for 2 seems fair.
And like, while she does cost 1 more than lab assistant, she also has that top ability, right? So like the first time you see her, she's gonna pay for her future self.
Yeah, and you're not losing the action with that reveal one.
Yep. Yeah. A willpower. An intellect. An agility? She's just like one of the stats she's using. Pardon?
Because you can probably just make it a wild too, because you barely, if ever, want to commit her.
Yeah. So you get 2 resources and 4 cards. No, you will not get 2 resources and 4 cards.
Because if you take the 2 resource options, she gets shuffled into your deck again.
Yep. The reaction is after you resolve an action, reaction, or lightning bolt ability on an ally, resolve that ability again, shuffle that ally into your deck. So the first time you draw her, she's 2. The second time, if you don't play her, she is 2 resources for 4 cards. And then she goes away again. She needs a better name, though.
Yeah, I'm looking that up now.
But 2 resources for a free action? Yeah. Well, it's not a free action. You lose your draw. You basically sacrifice your draw for the turn. So you're gaining resources, but you don't have a card to play. Or 4 cards for a free action. It's not a free action. It costs you your action for your turn. If we're going to be complaining about this lady, why haven't you said anything about laboratory assistant? Because laboratory assistant's actually cheaper than this lady is for this character, right? Pretty much turn it, yeah, you turn it into a cryptic writings. Yeah, exactly, right? Stamina. She probably shouldn't soak for too much. Maybe like a 1-2. She's basically just like another one of them. She could be a 1-1.
I'd say
I like this idea of this guy not having soak, you know? Like very little soak. And again, you're not really like playing these people for... It's like your allies are events. This is an after as well. After. And I imagine this one's also. Yeah. What happens if someone teamworks an ally to this guy?
And it...
Shove into the owner's deck, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just in the rules. Like,
yeah.
You can't shuffle somebody else's card into your deck.
Yeah, it would just go into the owner's deck. So I have here for the trait, Javier Altman! Lucifer. 8 months at the Golden Table, thank you for your support. So I have here just as the subtitle for Seneca's muse, but I want to kind of get like a little bit flowery with like Seneca's sun and moon. It's as if like he wrote this. She is my sun, she is my moon.
Something like that.
Yeah. I love this Seneca guy, man. He's great. Was this I see a message? Yeah, I like that. Let's go that. All right.
Let's see.
The sun is the 2 resources and the moon is draw 4 cards. Hell yeah.
All right, let's keep that then. Maybe shift her portrait down just a little bit.
Roger Dodger.
Because the subtitle box can sometimes change how I frame things.
Nice. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay. And now it's weakness time. Okay. All right, let me just go Baron Samedi mode. And I'm just going to go Critic for that. That can just be our working title. Except by his.
To make this a bit less like the bar fly that Maxwell has, what if it's like a cultist kind of person who's reading too much into his works for stuff that isn't there?
Okay, yeah.
Almost like a reverse Nostradamus kind of thing, where it's like, your works are predicting this. He's like, what? No, it has nothing to do with that. You're fucking crazy.
I like it. I like it. Then let's get. That's really nice because I think that also dictates what it can do. So let's just write some stuff. The first Mythos card you draw gains Surge. Draw the top card of the Mythos deck.
Probably the first Mythos card you draw each round.
Yeah, you draw each round. The first Mythos card you draw each round gains Surge. As an action, draw the top card of the Mythos deck.
I mean, he's already asking for you to draw 2 cards just to shuffle him away.
Yeah. Would his ability trigger like? Oh yeah, I guess yeah. So you're gonna draw 2 during the Mythos. You're gonna draw 4 Mythos cards to get rid of this guy, and then he gets shuffled back into your deck.
That seems a little excessive.
That's pretty brutal. So maybe his top ability can be less. What if it's So I think Seneca Rhodes is very powerful. I think we can have his weakness also be mean. Maybe not this mean.
Because 4 encounter cards is like overzealous +1, and people already don't like overzealous.
Yeah. What if it's like you cannot draw cards or gain resources during the upkeep phase? So he basically locks him from getting like he can't draw his muse if she hasn't seen his muse. And I like the idea of this being an overzealous. I think his ability is very powerful, and like we need to have something I think that kind of reins it in a bit. And I think this guy's okay. We also could go like draw the top card of the Mythos deck. It loses Surge, right, for the first one. But I am a big believer that if an investigator's powerful, we can have their weaknesses be powerful.
I agree. It's just hard to gauge encounter draws because sometimes they don't affect you and sometimes they wreck you.
Yeah. So I think just even like I think just having this guy being overzealous is kind of fine, that you have to spend an action on for what you get out of this guy. I think it's pretty all right.
Yeah, seems fair.
Better word than fan, but I like the flavor.
Let's see.
Cards gain resources during the upkeep phase. So I think that's also the nicer version. My first instinct for this ability for people, where I would if I was wanting to test this out, I wouldn't do the upkeep one, but I think that's very good. I would go like hard. I'd be like the agenda gets -1 doom threshold, but that being recurring is probably bad, and the other one's probably just like more manageable for the team because it doesn't just suddenly mean it can advance. Even though I really like that. I think like Agnes Baker's ability is very nice. I think this ability though, this guy will have less counterplay, so probably going a little bit softer, but still like annoying. We're not drawing cards or getting resources. You can leave it in play, but like that's going to cause you to have a bad time once it all goes. Oh, that Holy Helicopter got a great one here. What do you think of this? Seeker of Meaning for the name. And like something like Unfortunate Admirer. I like Unfortunate Admirer no matter what. I like Unfortunate Admirer. That's a really good subtitle.
I'd say ally cultist, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think Holy Helicopter hit it on that one.
Yeah, I think that's really nice. Looking at your pieces you have here, if we don't want to dig something up, I kind of like that top left you have in that cultist, the playwright batch, but I'm also trying to find some, it's cool to find someone a bit more frenzied, but I do really like that guy as an option.
Let me see what cultists I have available.
Okay, and then I need to put in his deck. Okay.
Yeah, this guy might be it.
Nice. All right, let me just get this mirror. No, no mirror. Give me this guy again, please. All right. Sounds great. All right. Yeah, he's looking that guy's looking a little bit cultish.
Definitely obsessive at the very least.
Yeah. Do you have the artist for that one?
You can
Nice.
ignore the underscore there. I was just copying from the title.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's check this guy out. Seneca Rhodes, 3423. Your ally asset, so he's a critic. That is incorrect. He's an artist, socialite. Your ally assets have their cost reduced by 1. After you resolve an action, reaction, or lightning bolt ability on an ally, resolve that ability again, shuffle that ally into your deck. Elder Sign effect.
Maybe a colon after ally and then capitalize the R for resolve.
Good call. Resolve that ability again, shuffle that ally into your deck. Elder Sign effect is +0. You may play an ally from your hand. Backface, deck size 30. Secondary class choice of deck creation, choose Rogue or Mystic. Neutral card, deck building options, Seeker 05, Neutral 05, level 0 cards of your chosen secondary class. And his deck building requirements are Esperanza Vidal, Seeker of Meaning, and 1 random basic weakness. Esperanza Vidal is a 1/1 for 3. As a reaction, after you draw her from your deck, reveal her to gain 1 resource. And after she enters play, as a reaction, draw 2 cards. And then we have Seeker of Meaning. Revelation puts Seeker of Meaning into play. He cannot leave play except by his action ability. You cannot draw cards or gain resources during the upkeep phase. As an action, draw the top card of the Mythos deck, which will then shuffle this guy back in, but you get to draw 2 Mythos cards for the pleasure. I like it. I really like this guy.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
I think he's going to be yet another powerful Seeker. But for different reasons than the other guys, I think.
Well, he has 4 book and no abilities that auto gain him clues, so
That's true.
hopefully that's at least a good baseline.
Yeah. I can't imagine drawing 2 Mythos cards and shuffling back in. I think I just keep the weakness in play. We'll see how he plays. I mean, not drawing cards or gaining resources is a good way to lose. I mean, I guess you could find like other card draw to go there, but yeah, a lot of these guys, they're proof of concepts that we need to like actually put into practice. Objection. Seeker of Meaning least play currently with Seneca's forced ability, not the weakness arrow ability. Unless it's you get what we meant kind of situation. Explain. Oh, that's right. No, you are right. You are right.
Yeah, you're right. He cannot leave play except via Seneca's.
You can only play except, yeah, by Seneca's. No, that's a even better way. Oh, that forced it. It's like this. Yeah. No, that's okay. We can just type forced like a grown-up. No, you're right. Yes.
Yeah, this was a good group effort between Elros and Holy Helicopter.
Yep, definitely.
And everyone else who was pitching in at every stage of the development.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm very curious to try this guy out. A signature weakness. I will say though, I think everyone is used to signature weaknesses becoming too soft, and I will always try to make them meaner than I can make them nicer. It just is more interesting to me. And this guy is pretty mean. It's a mean ability. It's bad either way, but I don't know, just draw 4, gain 2 clues from an art student, or like heal a bunch with a medical student. I think there's a lot of things here that this guy's going to be really good with.
Yeah. And because of a lot of the power is in like level 0 stuff currently, it can kind of let you go into luxury upgrades sooner.
Yeah, because he doesn't really need to like upgrade his allies. Yeah. It's very nice. All right. Well, we only have 1 investigator left. I think the Guardian, right?
That's right. We went in a semi-reverse order.
Yeah, yeah. So the Guardian should be pretty fun once we get to it in the near future. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a good one. Sorry, I just have to drop the patron thing. I forgot I have to do that. That's weird. It's always weird when I just forget what should be muscle memory. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a good one. And as always, a GG's.